Hello, this is Dr. Okwe, your Dr. Okwe, your immigration attorney, your US-based immigration attorney. And hello, this is Dr. Okwe, US-based immigration attorney. As a matter of fact, 28 years in the practice of immigration in the United States. And if you have been watching some of my videos on employment-based immigration visas, you're going to love this. This particular visa is one of those special visas I talk to high net worth individuals about. It's one of those great visas for people who have companies, established companies in their country of residence, or their executive officers or senior managers or technical staff in a foreign company who would like to come to the US with that company opening a branch right here in the US, or transfer somebody from a foreign country into the US branch of their office. It's one of those very, very, very potent visas that a lot of top level high net worth individuals are not even aware of. It is, I call it the cheaper version of the EB-5 visa. The EB-5 is where you have to invest $1 million or $500,000 to be able to get a green card in the US. But the L visa, you don't need anywhere near that. It is just for companies who have a foreign office that would like to open a branch in the US, or already has a branch in the US, and they are sending one of their senior officers, many times the owner of the company or the CEO of the company or a top level executive of the company or even technical personnel. So you're going to love this because it gives you a great opportunity to be able to relocate with your entire family to the US, or as a senior staff to send a senior staff of your company to be here. So what exactly is the L visa? The visa allows employers to obtain USA work visas for key employees or themselves as executives of their own company to move to the USA to work in their USA office or to start a branch. It allows you as company owner or as a top executive in your company, even if you are not the owner, or even as a technical staff in the company you work for, to immigrate to the US with your family. Spouses and children also get the visas, also the work visas, which everybody always looks for when you want to come to the US. You want the kind of visas or green card opportunity that will allow you to bring your spouse along as well as your children, at least those under 21. So the L1 even works if you don't have any employees in the US yet and just want to establish a new branch office. I call this a secret weapon visa for those who have established offices or companies in their country and would like to use it to get themselves and their families to the US, or to use it to help their senior staff or technical staff to move abroad. It is one of those visas that I don't hear much about, but very effective, particularly if you're a high net worth individual who happens to be a senior staff of a company or even own your own. So why the L visa? Why am I so hot on the L visas? What are the advantages you get that you probably don't get with most other visas out there? Number one, you can do premium processing with this, meaning rather than waiting the 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years to process a visa to come to the US, with the L visa allows you to do premium processing, which allows you to get approval or decision on your case in 15 working days. Can you believe that? In 15 days, you can get an answer to your case with the premium processing option allowed for this type of visa, so you don't have to wait so long. It's an easier route for business owners or senior executives or technical personnel to move with their family, as I said. Benefit number two is you don't even need to have what I call advanced degrees or even a degree. Most other employment-based visas, you will need a minimum of a university degree or above to be able to qualify for this one. But for the L visa, there are no degree requirements. For the L1A or L1B, there are two types of them. There are no degree requirements, so you don't need to worry about matching a job title to an employee's college degree, whether you're transferring yourself or you're transferring a staff of your company. There is no degree required to be able to fill it other than the person qualifying for the position that you are sending them for in your own company. Benefit number 3, why I'm so hot on L1 visa for those of you who are high net worth individuals out there or who work in a company or who own your own company. There's no annual limit to the L visas available. Unlike the H1B, more popular H1B option, there is no limit on the number of L visas that are granted annually. Employees can also petition, and this is also another great benefit of the L1 visa. Employers can petition for the L1 at any time during the year, as long as the employee has been with the company for at least 1 year. If it's an employee in a company that is going to be processing for this, or you as the owner of the company, you must have been with the company for at least 1 year. Number 4 benefit, the worker does not even have to work full-time with the USA office. And I know high net worth individuals, big boys and girls, they like this. Many of them really don't want to relocate to the US themselves. Maybe they are doing it for their children or maybe for their spouse to have a second place. This visa allows you to be able to bring yourself and your family under that visa without you even having to work full-time in the USA office. So you can be in the US for 1 month and be back home for another 4 months to work on your Nigerian or foreign company that you're working on. You can choose how long you want to stay here if you're in the L visa category. I've found from experience this has been very attractive to a lot of my clients. In other words, who don't really want to relocate, they have enough money, they don't feel that they have to come and live in the US, but at the same time, they are looking for an alternative residency, especially where their children can go to school as locals without having to pay foreign student fees, and where their spouses can also come and stay for as long as they want. So in other words, you are allowed to divide your time between your USA office and your home country in whatever way you choose. In other words, a foreign worker can be principally employed outside the US. In other words, you can be employed in Nigeria or Ghana or UK or wherever you live and still receive L1 visa for coming to the US to work on a short-term basis. That's why I love it. Number 5, spouses can work in the US. Most visas that you get as a principal to come to the US does not allow your spouse to work, and even your children do not get work permit. But with the L visa, not only do you get a work permit yourself, your wife that is coming with you or your husband, depending on who is filing, also get work permit in their own right, as well as all your children under 21 years old. Now you can see why I am so hot on this visa. If you are one of those people out there, you want to book an appointment to come talk to me by going to okpebanwo.net, okpebanwo.net, that's OPEBANWO.net, to book an appointment for us to talk more about this and how you or your family may qualify for this. Benefit number 6 for this is people on that visa are allowed to have dual intent. Most other visas out there also, typically, if you have expressed an intention to stay permanently in the US, they will not give you a temporary visit visa and vice versa. So in here, with the L visa, it doesn't matter whether you have already filed a petition to stay here permanently or whether you have intention to go back to your country or not. You don't have to show that you have a presence abroad that you do not have intention of abandoning, which is one of the number 1 reasons why most people are denied visas abroad, because you have to convince the immigration officer that when you come to the US, you are going to be going back home. You have to show them that you have a residence in your country of origin that you don't have intention to abandon. But for the L visa that we're talking about, that does not come into play. You are allowed to basically have dual intent. So the issue about whether you have a home in your country that you do not intend to abandon or not does not even come out, does not apply in this case. So the L1 visa holders may apply for a green card and become a permanent resident without jeopardizing their L1 visa status or their temporary visitor's application while waiting for their green card. Number 7 benefit, there is no waiting period for visa availability like most other visas. Most other visas that are available, sometimes even when you are approved, you have to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before you can actually process your immigration to the US. With L visa, the visas are always available. When you get approved, you can begin to process you're coming to the US immediately, unlike some that you have to wait a few years. So that's why I love it. It means that the L1 visa holder will not have to wait for visas to become available before applying. Visas are always available for the L visas. So how do you become eligible for this with all these benefits? I know that most high net worth individuals, with a lot of the clients I've had, this is their visa of preference when they become aware of it. It's less clumsy. It is much more direct. It gives you a lot of benefits that many other visa options do not give you. But how do you qualify? The L visa is a temporary non-immigrant visa which allows companies to relocate qualified employees in their countries to the US subsidiary or parent company. And of course, remember, you as the owner of the company, you're also an employee. The qualified employee must have worked for that subsidiary company, parent or affiliate branch for at least 1 year. In other words, whoever the company is sending, whether it is yourself, whether it's a staff, they must have been with the company for at least 1 year to be eligible. In addition, the US company must either be a parent, a company, child company, or sister company to the foreign company. Meaning, if you're Nigeria, for instance, the US company that you are setting up or that they want to send you to go and work must be either a parent or a subsidiary company to the Nigerian office. Bottom line of this for us lawyers is that there must be some shared ownership. So the Nigerian company must own some shares. It can be majority shares, it can be minority shares, but it must own some shares in the US office, at the new US office that you are setting up or that you have already set up. If you don't have a US company already, obviously we can help you set up one, and then we make sure that the shares in that new company, part of it is owned by that Nigerian company that you are using to do the relocation. All right, the L visa may also include non-profit religious or charitable organizations. In other words, any organization qualifies for this. I hear people are always asking me that in my Q&As, that, oh, I have a charitable organization, I have an NGO, can that qualify? Yeah, they do qualify, which is one of the reasons why this visa is so attractive to those who understand or those who know about it. The L1 visa is a good way for small or startup companies overseas to expand their businesses to the US. You don't have to be a very, very big company. As long as you have been in existence for more than 3 years and you have all your documentation to show that you actually do operate in your country of origin. However, since the immigration will scrutinize L1 visa petitions filed by lesser known companies more closely, professional consultation with an experienced immigration attorney is strongly recommended for all this this type of small businesses. So if your company is small, I recommend you don't try to do this thing yourself. You want to get an experienced immigration attorney who can advise you of the pitfalls of what they are looking for and how to document your Nigerian company or foreign company properly to be able to qualify. And of course, you can talk to me, book a consultation, let us talk about it and make sure I walk you through the specific checklist that is required so that we're sure 100% that your company will fit in before you even start applying. Again, you can book an appointment with me right now. Just go to okpebanwo.net, okpebanwo.net, OPEBANWO.net. When you get there, you'll be able to click a button and then book your own time. Once you pay for the consultation, you book your own time based on my availability. It will show you the availability of what I have available in any given day that is good for you. You select that and it will book the appointment for you, and then we get to talk on Zoom. I take you to Zoom and we have a one-on-one discussion where you can ask me all the questions to be sure that you do qualify, and I also will walk you through the checklist and the kind of documentation we're going to be needing, the ones I'm going to help you generate, the ones that you're going to generate yourself, and all of that. We can talk about all of that on that consultation call. Please book that right now so that you know where you stand before you start spending any big money. okpebanwo.net, OPEBANWO.net. So which category is right for you or your employer? Whether you are the business owner or you are a senior staff who has a company that you think might be able to do this for you. There are two types of L visas. There's L1A and L1A and L1B. So L1A visas are designed for intra-company executive transferees. In other words, executives from the foreign company that are going to be transferred to the USA office. The L1A visa holders must have been employed in an executive or managerial capacity for the foreign company at an overseas location for at least 1 year out of the past 3 years. Meaning that executive, whether it is the owner of the company or a staff in the company they want to sign, must have worked for that foreign company for at least 1 year out of the last 3 years. So the 1 year doesn't have to be consecutive. It just has to be 12 months out of the last 36 months. So you could have worked 3 months, stop working and work another 8 months, stop working and work another 2 months. So it must be 12 months out of 36 months. In addition, the L1A visa allows a company which does not currently have a USA office to send an executive or manager to the USA office in order to establish one. This is how we have been able to get a lot of executives in here. They don't have a branch yet, but because they are willing to start a branch of their company in the US, they come under that to be able to get themselves and their family here. L1A visa is granted initially for 1 year for a new company in the US or 3 years for a US company with more than 1 year in existence in the US. That 1 year is more than enough for you, because one of the beauty of the L visa is that within that 1 year, you can then convert it to permanent green card for yourself and your family and your children while during that process. Dependents can join the employee on the L1. In other words, your dependents can come with you. The spouse can work in the USA with a work permit, and this is a major benefit over all other visas. And your children also, they can go to school here as residents. Other than executives, they also have a second type of L1 visas, the L1B visas. This is intra-company transferee of specialized knowledge personnel. In other words, you are transferring an employee with specialized knowledge who may not be an executive, who may not be a senior staff, but who has a specialized knowledge about your business to the USA office under the L1 visa. It is designed for professional employees with specialized knowledge. An example of a specialized knowledge and personnel will be an individual who possesses proprietary knowledge about the company's product and who travels to the US to impart his or her specialized knowledge on USA employees, like your chief tech officer, your quality control officer, people that have specialized knowledge about your products, and you are sending them to the USA office to come and impart the employees that you are going to be using in the US branch of your office. In addition, companies who currently do not have an office in the US can use the L1B visa also to send a technical employee or a specialized knowledge employee to come and establish one. So even if you are not an executive or a senior staff, as a specialized knowledge employee, your company can still help you by sending you abroad to come and start the branch yourself for them. And of course, for this one, you are actually given 3 years with 1-2 year extensions, meaning you can be actually in L1B for up to 5 years. But that's a lot of time, because L1 can easily be converted to green card once you are here. We will talk more about that when we get on the call, on the one-on-one call at okwebanwo.net. Go ahead and book an available time and let us talk. L1B transfer is for the transfer of specialty workers such as software engineers to the US for up to 5 years. And the initial period, like I said, is for 3 years with an option for it to be renewed for another 2 years for a total of 5 years. But if you know what they are doing and you have a good lawyer, within a couple of years even, that specialized employee will be able to convert that particular classification into permanent green card, and they don't really have to go back if they don't want to go back to the US. Okay, so it's a very good option even for employees. Okay, so for me, full-time employment is not required to maintain L1 visa status, but the employee must dedicate a significant portion of their time on a regular basis and on a systematic basis to the company while in the US. So even the specialized employee you are sending don't even necessarily need to work full-time in that company also, because that also allows them to do other things while they have this special visa. I'm not going to talk too much about that on this call. They are allowed to divide their time between the USA office and the home country. They can travel back and forth and use this L1 visa to keep their presence here in the US. So what are the kind of documentation that is required? I'll quickly run you through that so that you get an idea whether your company may even be in a position to qualify before you book your one-on-one consultation with me at okpebanwo.net. I strongly encourage you, get that consultation first before you pay anybody, before you even decide whether you want to hire me to help you. It is important so that you can clarify everything before you start spending big money. But the documentation required is not that it looks like a lot, but it is something that any business that is really in existence and doing business in the foreign company should be able to have. Remember, your company must have been in existence for a minimum of 3 years. And if you really are running a company for 3 years that is not a shell company, you should be able to get all the documentation they require. They need you to have articles of incorporation, your stock certificate, which is just a documentation of who owns what in the company, like your CO2, CO7 documentation in Abuja. If you're in Nigeria, we'll be able to give you that information right there. They want to see your income tax filings for 3 years. Many of the clients that we have assisted, because it's Nigeria, many of them don't even have their taxes up to date, but it's very easy for you to get your accountant to prepare your accounts, and then you do your taxes. You must have the last 3 years tax returns. They want to see it before they can grant your L1 visa application. Of course, promotional materials for your company. Any company that has been existing for 3 years and doing business, obviously we have that, like a banner, flyer, brochure, stuff like that. Practically every company has that. They want to see the organizational chart of your company, and that is key, because that's probably one of the most important documents that you have to produce. They want to see on paper, how does your Nigerian company or foreign company operate. The reason is that they want to ascertain that if you transfer to the US to come and start the US branch of the company, will the foreign company still be able to stand? In other words, they want to be sure you're not a one-man company. The idea of L1 visa is not for you to close your Nigerian or foreign company down and then come and start a new one in the US. It is for you to open a branch of your foreign company. So they want to be sure that your foreign company is still going to be a going concern while you are setting up the branch in the USA office. So the organogram is one of those things that gives them an idea how established is your company. So as a CEO, do you have a deputy? Do you have a senior manager? Do you have people that can take over for you while you are out of the country? And they also want to be sure that the company is reasonably operating seriously as a company. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to have 20, 50 staff. You don't have to have 10 staff. They just want to be sure that there's a succession plan, and your lawyer can help you with that by the time you start having the one-on-one consultation about whether you qualify for this or not. Of course, in addition, they want to see a statement of ownership and control of your company. That is easy. Your lawyer can help you with that very easily to document that. Just a statement of this one owes so much in the company, that one owes so much in the company, something anybody can put together. And of course, letterhead of your company and documentation to show that your company is actually a going concern. Things like contracts with your clients, invoices, bill of lading, anything that will show that your company has been doing business in the last 3 years. And that is very easy to document for any serious company. And then there is a set of documents they require from your US end of the operation. Remember, for most that we have represented here, they are starting a new company afresh. In fact, we are always also the one helping them to incorporate the company under our company secretarial services that we provide, which is different from the immigration representation. Or sometimes they have lawyers abroad that can help them incorporate their US office and get the certificates, the bylaws, which you need. Articles of incorporation, very easy to get. Stock certificate, whoever is representing to incorporate your company abroad, even if it's not us, can easily get all of these for you. And another very important document that you will need there is your business plan. That you either have to write yourself, or we help you get professionals to write you an L1A compliant business plan. Remember, the whole idea is that your foreign company wants to start a branch office in the US. And if you are really going to do it seriously, you need a business plan. So they want to see a comprehensive business plan about how you want to run this business in the short term and the long term, at least a 5-year business plan. And this, again, is very easy to get. There are professionals everywhere who will help you write a beautiful, all compliant business plan, or you can write it yourself if you are really good at writing business plan for your company. So that cannot be a hang up. You also need a list of where your business is going to be abroad. Okay, your lawyer can help you with this. The consultants that are helping you to set up your business in Nigeria, in the US, they can help you with all of that. We do it all the time, and it's very easy to accomplish for you. So what are the fees for government, so that you have a great idea how much this really costs for you to get it done? These are the fees you pay to immigration. There is a $460 filing fee, and then there is a premium processing fee, which is $2,500. This is for you to get answer to your application within 15 days. So immigration charges that. This goes to immigration, not to your lawyer. $2,500 for the premium processing fee. You might decide that you don't want to get the result in 15 days. You want to wait the normal course of time, and typically that will be between 6 months and 12 months for them to give you a decision on your L1 application, in case you choose not to do the premium processing. So that is purely voluntary. And of course, your dependents, if you have dependents, they are $370 each to file their own dependent application. So as a sample that I have here is for assuming that you have 3 children, right? And you have a spouse and 3 children, that would be about $1,480 for filing fees for them. But you can always discount it based on how many children you have. This is just a sample for you to get an idea of the total fees you are looking at. Some don't even have spouse to come with them. Some don't have each children, or maybe they only have 1 child. So you can then calculate the fees accordingly. It's $370 per dependent for your wife, as well as each of your children. And there's also a fee of $500 dependent fee. $500 fraud prevention fee. The immigration charges, just in case they want to do investigation or whatever, they make you pay for that, and they charge you in advance. And even if they don't do investigation, which really they do it for less than 5% of the application, maybe 1% even, but they're not going to give you that money back. It's another way that the government makes a little money. And of course, once you are granted, the visa is approved right here in the US, for you to get this stamped on your passport in Nigeria or your country of origin, you pay a $190 visa fee in your own country. Of course, what are my fees? I charge $10,000 to represent clients. I like to be very upfront, so that before you even book an appointment, you know whether you can afford this, instead of wasting your time to come to. That's what we charge. That's our fee. When you come on the call, we can work out something if there's something to be worked out. Then, of course, if you need to incorporate your business in the US, get a bank account, get your corporate documentation and all that. The company secretarial side of this, they will charge you between $3,000 and $4,000 depending on who you are using for that. And of course, there's also the petition for your spouse and your children. The fees, the attorney fees for getting your spouse also are the L1 dependent, as well as your children for getting the L1 dependent. And remember what I said earlier, you need a business plan. Now that business plan can either be written for you by yourself, or you can get professionals to write it for you. Professionals typically will charge between $2,000 and $2,500 for that. I've listed the high side of this fee, so that before you start thinking about doing this, you are looking at whether you are actually qualified for this, or whether you can afford it, or whether that's something you really want to get involved with. But I would say either way, book an appointment to talk to me right now at okpebanwo.net. And as we talk, I'm going to give you 1 hour of my time to explain your options. It might be possible that maybe after we talk, maybe L1 might not be your best option. Maybe it might be EB1, EB2, O visa or P visa, that other plenty visa options for that high net worth individual that I deal with. I deal only with high net worth individuals who are able and ready to be able to immigrate to the US. So while we talk, take that 1 hour to discuss your options. We may just find out that maybe L1 is not what is best for you. Maybe it's a different type of visa. So book that call right now. Let's talk. You have nothing to lose other than to get clarity on at least 4 or 5 visas that you may be qualified for. I'm talking about senior boy visa, senior girl visas, not visitors, not a student and all of that, junior visas, but visas that can help you and your family to relocate permanently to the USA in a way that allows you to work, in a way that allows you to move freely. I look forward to talking with you on another one of my short seminars on the different types of visas available in the US. My time is up. I look forward to seeing you. Book that appointment right now, okpebanwo.net, and I will see you on the call.